Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back after episode 3 of Dondi season 2, and we got a lot to talk about as Rock is out in Dondi. The banker got him, got one of the good ones. Rock loses in the banker's temple, and we'll break it all down here with our Deal or No Deal Island panel, of course. Back with us, Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
I'm conflicted tonight because another gem down tonight. Is a rock a gem? Gem could be
No.
a rock, perhaps.
No.
We're losing such big characters with promise early, but I was so stressed by all of the other possibilities tonight that I'm like, it's bittersweet. Lots to think about. I'm overwhelmed.
Okay.
But still having a good time somehow.
And of course, a guy who is always having a good time is Chappell. Chappell, how are you?
Dondi!
Yes. Woo!
Dondi, we're back. I'm kind of in the same boat as Jenny. Sad to see Rock go, but also the alternative was kind of scary. And so I'm like, all right, we might have just bought us a little time. This feels very reminiscent of last season, where every episode we went in thinking, is Boston Rob going to make it? Is Boston Rob going to make it? Is Boston Rob going to make it? This episode, I just knew that we were going to lose Dr. Will. It was starting to look really bad. Yeah, so we did it. Thank you, Rock.
We did it. Congrats
we
to
got
us.
through one.
Of course,
We got it.
We've got Dondi exit interview coming up with Rock on Wednesday. Make sure you hear that when you subscribe to our Dondi podcast feed. WeKnowDondi.com. Accept no imitations. WeKnowDondi.com. And so, scary night. Dr. Will potentially was eligible to be somebody that could have been eliminated. We don't know what Rock was going to do. What's the thought from the field? Who was Rock going to eliminate?
I would love to hear if Chappelle has a strong feeling, and obviously, like, this is a question that we can ask Rock tomorrow, but he did a great job of keeping us all on our toes, and I love that he did it purposefully. I feel like, based on how Seychelles was feeling, that maybe it could have just been her. Like, I don't know that Rock was necessarily going to go after one of the big dogs. It's really hard to say because we didn't get to see a lot of his game. Like, we heard a lot that he wasn't like super ingratiated with everyone. So it's like, I don't know if he was really listening to what other people were trying to get him to do. Would he have been, trying to get out Will? Because it seems like a lot of people were probably in his ear saying, like, just get rid of Will and everything will be good. We'll all be happy with you. Or if he was like, hey, I'm lone wolfing it here. I'm gonna ride with this guy who's promising me the world as long as I don't eliminate him. Because it just seemed like Seychelles was like really nervous going into it, and that just might be her energy if she's vulnerable. But I don't know. I really just went in being like, it has to just be Rock, right? Because I was too nervous about all of the other possibilities that I just didn't feel ready. And I wouldn't have been ready. Wouldn't have been ready for anything else.
What do you think, Chappelle?
Yeah, Chappelle.
I think it was time for Dr. Will. I think it was.
No.
I think. Look. Fate stepped in and said, "No, not today, not on my watch." But I feel like
not
if
today,
Rock wins,
Satan.
I feel like if Rock wins, he goes for Dr. Will here. I think that the majority of the cast is saying, like, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And then if you go for Dr. Will, you take him out. You've just done the bidding of everybody. You probably have just earned a lot of goodwill as well. Not Dr. Will, but some goodwill within the cast.
Yeah.
Because if you go against him, now you have a target on your back. Let's say Dr. Will's safe next week. Then what do you do? Because you're probably number one on the board to go off at that point.
Yeah.
Parvati and David are both trying to manage their threat levels, whereas Dr. Will is a big walking beacon of threat level. And so, if I'm Rock and I feel like this could save me, potentially give me a little bit more cover and make some allies, I'm definitely coming after Will. But Dr. Chappelle, I would have never targeted Dr. Will. I'm sorry.
No, never.
No,
but
I'm sorry.
That's
Could be me.
That's the thing though, because it's like we didn't get enough insight on what Rock's like gameplay was besides him narrating that he was purposely not telling anyone what he was going to do. It makes me feel though, just like the energy and the vibe that he brought, that like I think Rock likes to do what he thinks rocks. You know what I mean? Like I think that
That's
there's
how
a
he got
part
his
of him.
name.
Yeah, I think there's a part of him that like he wants to do the fun and exciting thing. Like he likes to live a little bit on the edge. And I think that there's something about like going against the grain here. And that might be why he was in the position he was in, where he wasn't super in with everyone, where he's like kind of doing his own thing. And so I wouldn't rule out the possibility that he keeps Will here.
Well,
I don't know.
He was one of the only people that I think recognized Will when he came in on the boat in last week's episode. He was like, hey, is that Dr. Will? So, but that might make him want to get rid of him more, or he might have been a little bit fanboying about Dr. Will. We saw Will having a conversation with him. So we'll have to find out when you all do the exit interview. But Will was really at the center of everything here in this episode as he comes in and we get our first full-fledged Dr. Will episode where he enters the villa and is causing chaos from the get-go. Here's Dr. Will's advice to the contestants over dinner.
Not that anyone asked, but my, unsolicited advice for everyone here, Parvati, you've been on Survivor. Enjoy the experience.
Oh.
That wasn't remotely subtle at all. It's like he said two separate sentences that had nothing to do with each other. It's like, yeah, so today I was looking at the sun. By the way, Parvati, it's you. You're the biggest threat here. You should get him out. And then the sun looked back at me. It's like, what are you talking about?
How did he know she was undercover?
I feel like maybe, just throughout, just the vibe amongst the people, because there's a few people, right, who have identified Parvati, but there are probably some that haven't and are very like, I don't know, she seems like a yoga teacher. If he's been talking to them at least
CK
a little bit.
Gooped.
Yeah, if he's been talking to them a little bit, he probably picked up on it. Or if she's not undercover, this is a quick way to find out. You just throw that out there randomly and see if it hits anyone, and it does. Dr. Will's smart enough to know that if you're somebody like Parvati, you probably do want to go undercover. There's no way you're just walking around here being like, I'm Parvati, come get me. So I think he just took a swing, and he hit hard because she didn't like this at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was like conversation amongst the group where, when Will arrives and, he's part of the game, I could see some of these people in front of Will, because they seem to have no issue talking about their disdain for him openly in front of him. Most of them, at least, being like, oh, you know what? When I got here, like they had Boston Rob last season, and so I thought for sure they were gonna bring someone back from reality TV, and here's this guy. They waited until episode 2 to bring him in or whatever, like something that kind of indicated that there were some people that weren't aware that like no, Will isn't the first reality TV like veteran rolling up here on Dondi season 2. Could have been something as simple as that. But it's the swing you're gonna take if you're Will, no matter what. Like it worked perfectly.
So CK is not a fan of Dr. Will. Will was talking about how well his business ventures do. CK accuses Dr. Will of having narcissistic personality disorder, which okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts are facts. Okay.
Dr. Will is Dr. Will. Rob,
Dr. Will.
I'm very concerned.
Hates him.
I'm very concerned that the viewers of Dondi are going to mistake this for like, how is Dr. Will such a good player if this is what he's doing? Like, what's wrong with this man? Because that seems like what the cast is doing. Like, well, who is this jackass?
Yeah.
It's kind of the vibe I'm getting. But I'm like, y'all, turn back the pages of time and look at this man's track record. This is what he does. This is his game. He is annoying as hell. He does this stuff on purpose. Now, a part of him might be annoying as hell, but he leans into it and it becomes his whole character. He's not the evil Dr. Will because he's very likable.
Yeah, I do think that that's a fair point, Chappell. I think that like the Dr. Will playbook is get into an environment, irritate people to no end, make them want nothing more than to get rid of you, but then maybe there's somebody that they want to get rid of more. And so they get rid of like the bigger, the more annoying problem. We'll get rid of Will later. But then he's a little bit like an earworm. He starts to ingratiate himself into the group at large to the point, well, okay, he's an annoying jackass, but he's our annoying jackass. It wouldn't be as fun without him, right?
Yeah, you have to.
And he's not going to win.
That's the thing is like you have to like tank your stock so immediately so that it's so bad that you have become discounted, and then step back, show a little of that charm in these moments, and then the rest will kind of work itself out, because we're already seeing it happen. Like, yes, we don't know what would have happened if Rock had made a good deal tonight, but we're already seeing the beginnings of some of these other players who are gaming hard, getting a little, figuring out what everyone is up to and assessing each other as threats. And this is the perfect time where it's like, you don't want to, no one's going to let Will win this game. Everyone has decided they're all on board, but they're not going to no one is going to waste their shot when they start seeing, the other threats that are emerging. Like that is what he should be banking on. I think that's the playbook, right? Like you said. So I think I really want to believe that this can work, because he started off the way that it should. Tank the stock, make everyone say like, this guy sucks. What is he doing here? We cannot let him win. And then just hold on a little bit, and then bigger problems will emerge. And then we'll say, well, we're not going to worry about this right now.
So Parvati is a little shook that Dr. Will has blown up her spot. And there's a few people. We see CK also very surprised. She didn't know that. She thought that Parvati was just like this yoga teacher who was here, doing yoga class. But Parvati is able to, for the most part, work through them. We see her the next morning going back to try to hypnotize everybody. The next morning, Maria Grace has a conversation with David where she's explaining to David what has happened. She's explaining that Parvati was part of a show called Survivor. And it's incredibly that it's really, everybody on there is very smart, and it's really hard because there's two groups, and then the two groups, they become one group. David is like, wow, oh my God, this is, go on. Tell me more about this. Tell me about the people that win Survivor.
So if you win that, you are basically like the gold standard.
Yes, the gold
standard.
David!
Too good.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is hilarious. She's Grace-splaining a little bit, just letting him know, that she's just letting him know that Parvati is one of the most intelligent people who've ever played the game, because she won. And in order to win Survivor, you have to be one of the most intelligent people to play. And so you're dealing with a monster here. What she does not know is that she's also talking to a monster who has won Survivor and played multiple times. So yeah, this was fun, because she's saying, yeah, people at home are going to be like, they are so stupid letting these people, like letting this Survivor player go unnoticed. It's like, yeah, people are going to say that. It would be crazy if they said that. I'm not going to say it, but people might.
Yeah, David's winking at the camera. Jenny, he was eating.
I loved like him basically like baiting her into complimenting him without realizing it, being like, so like if you were to win this, like you've just gotta be.
You're like a golden
just like
god.
Like a golden god or goddess. I don't, who's to say?
Who's to say?
They might call someone a golden god if they were to win. This was cinema. Like this was so good to watch, because I truly like, you can tell by how Maria Grace is talking about this. Like she truly has no idea. And she's really excited to be like imparting this wisdom on David, which tells us David is doing everything he wants to correctly. Play the dumb supermodel. chef's kiss. The scene
Yeah.
was incredible. I need more of this. I need more of people talking to David about Survivor.
He has to play the dumb card.
Yeah.
This is good. I'm enjoying the display of skill from all of our celebrity players here. Because we see Dr. Will takes a shot directly at Parvati, and I was surprised that it hit her so hard. Like she looked like she was like, I don't even know if I want to play with Dr. Will here. Like this is crazy. And she bounces back. And the very next day, we see her like, yeah, CK is calling the shots. And that is good. And I need her to feel like she's calling the shots because she wants to be in power, and I need to push her to the front. I'm thinking, yes, Parvati, that's perfect because you, the Survivor player, you would naturally be a target. So if there's a bigger target, you need to find that person and make them the biggest target there is. And she's found one. Then you see David downplaying his intelligence and his smarts and sitting here getting information about a show that he won and played multiple times. It's crazy. Then on Dr. Will, he's doing his thing, throwing people under the bus, causing chaos, and then hopefully slipping into the background. What more could you ask from these three players right now?
Let's talk about our excursion for this week's episode. And so I thought this was interesting. I have not seen a challenge like this, the chain of commands where everybody is locked up and tied up Chappell, okay? And we see that everybody is needing to try to reach a key, but that you'd have to like let somebody go to open the key.
Yeah, now why'd you call me out though?
I just look at some of our past podcast conversations that you express that like knots and rope were things that you
Didn't you call yourself a rope bunny?
Yeah.
I didn't call myself. Hold on.
No,
pause,
he said other. He said rope bunnies were contacting him.
That's it.
All I do is stay black and stay in my lane. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I thought this was your lane.
Strategy.
No, black and in my lane. That's it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about no rope bunnies, no brat tamers, none of that. I'm not.
No.
I don't know what all that ghetto stuff y'all talking about. Not me. Move on.
It must have been it. Maybe it's a different podcaster. Yeah. Okay. But Jenny, I thought this was a cool mechanism to be able to you have to let one person go first.
Rob, I gotta admit, in the past, and we've covered many shows together, and
yes.
it's become my forte, despite having the plight of ADHD and having a real hard time watching challenges, that I have tried to start really focusing on the challenges and understanding them as a quirk. I didn't really understand this one though. And that just might be my brain not doing what it needs to today.
What was the part you didn't understand?
I understood that because they were all tied together, only one person could go for the key at once. But what? I just don't know if I understood the point, so that it was what were they expecting that everyone would just go at once and then it would really, because I guess that did kind of happen. Well, I'm just trying to understand what the expectation is.
So from my point of view, we all have to go get the highest cases available, right? Or the banker's bonus. And so we're all incentivized to want to go first. Nobody should want to go last, right? We should all be trying to get, we don't want to be in the spot that Rock is in, right? Where you have this low case where you could be up for danger. So it behooves us all to be the first one to get to the middle, unlock ourselves and go. But this way, you can't just physically make yourself the person who will go. The people have to actually agree on it. They have to say, all right, someone has to be able to say, yeah, you need to slack. Okay. So someone has to be able to be willing to give up their position for you to be the one to potentially go and get a higher case than them, putting themselves at risk. And so it's you have to use your tactic of persuasion or whatever, because this is a race essentially.
So I guess where I don't understand, and what this is so exciting as a podcast, but maybe there are other people like me that didn't truly understand what was happening here. Obviously I understood that as a group, it was trying to persuade everyone to let you go first so that they give you the slack. But was it mechanically also so that if you were just strong and big enough, it didn't matter and you could just strong arm your way? I think you could have been a person who just pulled, by weight, everybody else will go all the way back. Yeah, I think I was trying to understand physically, is that how it worked? Where someone big like David could just be F you
But that's
guys,
the
like
thing.
I gotta go.
Well, that's the thing. David tried to do it and he couldn't. He physically could
Right.
not. Like he needed them to say, "David, you could go." Like they had to relinquish the slack
They
so that he
needed
could do it.
permission.
Yeah,
But he could have been strong enough, like if you put
Maybe just didn't wanna
like
be a dick.
the Big
I mean-
Show in there, like he could have done it.
Yeah, I'm assuming. But like I guess they account for that kind of thing, right? Like so the goal would not be for you to just be able to be like screw all of y'all, like Jonathan from Survivor, right? Like he's like he's like a challenge breaker, right? Like there's no way Aaron and Dixon are going to be able to stop this man from pulling them. But I think they try to make it to where you have to at least be able to persuade somebody to say, okay, you can go first, which would then put potentially put yourself in risk if you allow that to happen.
Yeah, and he got Parvati to buy in, and then very quickly she's like, "Yeah, of course I want him to get out. That's good.
Right, because I'm next,
and I'll get out next." Yeah,
yeah, it's perfect.
This is great. So it wasn't a big dramatic moment, but I did think that was a cool mechanism that they had set them up into, send them out into go, and everybody's out and they're going through the sand castles. I liked that they had to kind of break the sand castles. I like David tried to drop kick one of the sand castles.
That didn't look very effective though. Like you have to dig. You're a dig woman, dig. But what did you think about your guy? Dr. Will was just like, yeah, I'm good. I'll go last.
We're back, baby.
I'll take it. We're back, baby. He's doing it.
We're throwing comps again. We're so back.
It feels good. It feels so good.
Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily agree with the look, it's good TV that he's being all nonchalant about it. I think that probably I don't think you want people to see you have to be very careful with this, because if people see that you're trying to throw the challenges, I think that could be something that is doesn't work in his favor. But classic Dr. Will, hamming it up, walking around in slow motion, not a care in the world.
He still got a mid-level case, though. That was the thing. It wasn't one of those challenges where if you're the last to get out, you're guaranteed to get one of the lowest cases. Because, and again, there was no map. At least if there was, I wasn't aware of it. So I think it was one of those things where it's if you stopped and saw a sandcastle at a value you felt good about, it's do you just go for that, or do you go further risking that you might find a better one, but maybe it's already been taken? So I think there was enough randomness in it that it wasn't even a guarantee that if you were slow to leave that you were going to get for sure the lowest case. Because Will still ended up with a decent case, mid-level.
Well, he wasn't last. That's another thing. This
Wait,
man
was not.
No,
they made it
because
look like that.
No, because remember they all come
groups.
They all come up
right.
And so they make them come up to the podium one by one and choose their cases. By the time Will comes, I think we still haven't seen Lachelle
he was last from his
Seychelle.
Group to leave the circle with the key, I believe, right?
Yeah, but there were still lower numbers behind him, is what I'm saying. I mean, other boxes behind him. It's not like he got there last. He was dead last. He had the last lowest case, and there was nothing he could do just by virtue of being last. Because how did he beat Seychelle?
Yeah, well, I think that also. Well, we may not have gotten a look at what the path was like. It could have been a maze where, it seemed it didn't seem like it was just one road where all the sandcastles were.
Yeah. Because the people because he might have just walked out and saw the first one that he physically closest to him and was like, hey, this is good enough. And hence got back quicker than other people who maybe went further trying to find something better. So it's just saying being the last person to get the key to leave your group was not a death sentence.
Right.
So that at least makes it kind of interesting. But then there was this whole other twist with returning, which I was not prepared for. I was
well, just in terms of people getting the suitcases, we see Philip once again. He is going for the banker's special suitcase. What's the right term for it?
Banker's bonus.
Banker's bonus.
Is that what it's called? Yes.
So Philip goes for that. Parvati is on his heels. That Parvati is very relieved to see that it was Philip who ends up getting the banker's bonus. More on that. Letty ends up going for the $4 million suitcase. Letty says something. She said some interesting things in terms of when she has found suitcases, that the only thing better than a suitcase would have been if it was cake. She said something in this episode. I flagged it. I clipped it. I'm hoping you can tell me what she's saying.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
She's talking about the suitcase is buried in there.
Can you feel it yet? How deep is it? Deeper than a freaking thigh.
How deep is the suitcase? Deeper than a friggin' thigh?
I think it was deeper than her thigh. I think she had gone knee deep into the sand.
Yeah.
And the suitcase was deeper than where she had.
Can you feel it yet? How deep is it? Deeper than a freaking thigh.
Then
Yeah.
I think a friggin' thigh.
Mm-hmm.
A thigh.
Yeah. I think she was
Just
thigh
a-
deep in the sand.
Thigh
She
deep
was
in the
thigh
sand?
deep in
Yeah.
sand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it
that's
seems
what
like
she-
that was like a
probably-
colloquialism.
No, she went to like when she went to, when she. I have to shut this down. When she went to, yeah, yes, I am. I'm stepping in, Jenny. Adults, we will have to be adults, damn it.
No.
When she was knocking over the sandcastle, she was using her leg. She was like kicking it over, and so I think
Yes.
like
Oh.
I don't think she was
Oh.
knee deep in the
The
cream of
sand
wheat,
went
as they
up
say.
to her thigh.
Yes,
so
yes.
Got
At least
it.
that's how I remember
the
it.
the
But,
leg kicking through had not reached
Mhm.
right,
the briefcase yet, so she was at least more than thigh deep.
right, right.
Okay.
Like if she
Okay.
had those socks with the little balls on them, she would have been balls deep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way.
Yeah. All right. So this was, I thought, a very interesting twist. Okay. So Joe is bringing people in one at a time. And so people are going to have to pair up. And so each of the places that you're going to put your briefcase has two sides to it. And you're going to have a combined number for the two suitcases. And so we see very quickly people are trying to pair up. CK, she's first. She pulls in Maria Grace. Come work with me. Let's pair up.
She basically, I think that they were nearby, so they knew, because it didn't seem like everyone was discussing openly what their cases were. But being the first two, being like, we both have good numbers. Like if we combine, we have the highest. Like let's just do this.
Okay.
Yeah, we've kind of glossed over it, but CK is locked in. She really is.
Okay, it's
she has
playing.
Yeah, she's playing the game. You love to see it.
She's playing
Yeah.
hard. She's
Yeah.
got a lot going on. I think that she is like the leader of the newbies. Is that fair to say?
It seems that way to me, for sure.
Leader of the rookies.
Is she gonna start the Night Owls 2.0?
Yeah,
I'm just
I miss my
saying.
friends. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Where y'all at?
Mhm.
She might have to find a new name, but it's giving
Night Owls.
I might
Yeah.
be starting the Night Owls. But
I'm the
like the
only
leader
Night
of the
Owl.
opposition, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
she's definitely out on Will. She
Mhm.
doesn't know who David is, so she can't really be against him. And now she knows that Parvati is from Survivor, and I think that is going to definitely impact how she feels about Parvati going forward. So I feel like CK is kind of just like putting herself out there as the leader of the opposition, giving Night Owls.
She did say the magic words, though. She said "Girls Alliance."
True.
And, Jenny,
Famous
kind of a-
last words.
kind of a kiss of death in these streets. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Even if you have Parvati there.
I mean, it wasn't great for everybody. It was great for Parvati.
Mhm.
It works really well if you're Parvati.
Yeah. Foolproof even.
Yeah.
Okay. So Letty, we see the Dixon pairs up with Storm. Okay. Philip pairs up with Parvati. Letty doesn't want to pair up with Will. Doesn't like Will. She says to Rock, come with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Letty is extending the olive branch to Rock here, basically saying like, I'm gonna help him out. And you know what? I like that. I like people recognizing that people are on the outs, and especially if you don't want to be, you don't know what had they explained at this point what the pairing fully meant. I don't even know if they had fully explained
They
that
knew.
everyone
they
would,
did.
but did they all know that they would be like, I don't think that they knew how many people would be vulnerable. So I think that, when you know that Will is public enemy number one, until you know the full twist probably best to not shackle yourself to him if you have the option. So that makes sense for Letty. And you know, you see someone like Rock who has kind of put himself on a little rock island. It would be good to kind of be the person that's like, I want to work with you, because if he makes a good deal, he's not gonna get rid of you. You should be in the business of being nice to Rock.
Okay, so Letty ends up offering the olive branch to Rock. He takes it, and then we see David comes in. David ends up pairing up with Dr. Will, hoping to avoid elimination. Dr. Will has 1.25, and so David wants to pair up with him. And then Lachelle and Seychelle.
Team Shell.
Team Shell.
The Shells show up.
They show up, and they are, by default, a pair.
And this is great for David in ways that he just does not know, because sitting next to Will has now made him very much someone who, you know, you could split them up in the way, you know, we have this bonus banker or what banker's bonus or whatever. You could split them up. But what if Will targets David? That's not good for Parvati. And so by pairing up with Will, this has saved them both, essentially. You know, like, Will is not going to be the one left out on the island because Parvati can't trust that he won't target David. And this is good. You know, it worked out. I don't know if David was hoping this would be the case, but I mean, he is safe because of this.
We really haven't seen a lot of Will and David interaction yet. We know from the super tease that we saw that there will be friction between the two of them. But so far, David says in confessional he can't stand the guy, but we really haven't seen them have any interaction on the show yet.
Yeah, they're probably not talking at all. You know, so yeah.
Well, Will might be talking.
Right. Yeah. The quickest way to know if somebody is willing to align with you in the game is like if they've spoken with you. You know.
Okay. So Philip opens the banker's bonus. It's a split. He gets to break up any pair, and so they have to decide what to do. Interestingly, CK once again comes in. Is gonna CK explain to Parvati what to do.
Yeah, she's in charge.
Yeah, I mean, I will give this to CK. Like, she's definitely not being she's definitely being chalant, you know. She's not taking the nonchalant route. She is being very bold about you know, her plans and how involved she wants to be in things. Not even hiding it. Right in front of everyone is like, this is what the plan is. Like,
which is great for the show, great for the drama, but I feel like that she's on a collision course with our reality TV faves. She has very publicly said she does not like Will, but I feel like that David and Parvati are probably eventually going to be on her target list.
Or at least she's going to put herself on everybody else's by being so far out in front. You know, in other games, we often are hard on the new players when they don't target, you know, the obvious threats in these Survivor players, these Big Brother players. When we see them around, we're like, why aren't y'all just taking them out? But we actually really don't want to see them take them out because we love them. That's why they came back to play again. So it's like, CK, leave them alone. Leave Dr. Will alone. But I don't blame her. You identified that everybody has a target. It's Dr. Will. And we need somebody who would target Dr. Will to be up against the banker. And so Parvati doesn't want to get rid of David. That's perfect. I got the perfect person for you to for us to use. We could use Rock. And Rock literally said last episode that he wanted to play the banker. It's like he's volunteering himself to target Dr. Will just for us. So for her, it felt like a no-brainer. And I think Parvati didn't really like it. But, you know, I think if I'm CK, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure that the person that I want to go home is going home. And she almost had it.
Yeah, it really is like a win-win from CK's perspective here, because, you know, she's already kind of explained that Rock is not a priority for her. It's like she has nothing against him, but if he does poorly against the banker and is a casualty, that's not the worst case scenario for her. And so because that's the thing is, like, when you're deciding someone going against the banker, even if you're safe, it's not a guarantee that you're like putting the best odds of getting that person out. And in fact, like, if they make a good deal, like, do not put Will in a situation where he faces the banker. He probably would love that. And when you've been already outspoken about your distaste for this man, even if you're safe, that is not a person you want to be in any sort of decision-making position. So having someone like Rock, who no one's gonna be mad, we let him live. It's like, everyone's like, it actually makes me kind of sad, because they're like, we did him a solid last night. We got rid of Sydney instead of him. Like, we did him a favor. Let's let him play. He wants to play. Like, there's something almost like twisted about it, but it is the right call if you're CK, because it's like, let's just try and get him to get out Will, do our dirty work, and if it doesn't work out, it's just Rock.
But
It's just Rock.
you know, last season we saw where Jordan really did such a masterful job of like playing the middle. Nobody was gunning for her. But I think that in this season, I feel like that in the case of Rock, I think that like, oh, he's in the middle. Nobody's gonna be mad if we put Rock into the and he likes everybody, so he's not gunning for any particular power player. So. And he said he wants to go into the Banker's Temple. So but there was nobody like fighting for him to keep him out of that position. And nobody was going to be too disappointed if he ends up going, which he did.
He needs better bonds. And I think that the proof is that when it's revealed to us that Rock will be facing the banker, nobody knows where he stands. If he had a real tight ally, we would have got at least one person saying, I know what Rock's going to do, or at least I know it ain't me, something like that. But we get literally everybody coming up to him and being like, I don't know what you're going to do, but hopefully it ain't me. Hopefully it's Will. Hopefully it's this. Hopefully it's that. Seychelles even being like, I don't know what he's about to do. I'm concerned because I don't have a relationship with him at all. So it's like Rock was there, but I don't know how active he was in creating alliances where people would want to stick their neck out on the line for him.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do think I think that is the difference between like the way that Jordan was playing the middle, where I think that she really did have a lot of people having her back because of her relationships. Whereas like the Rock scenario was giving like someone gets HOH that is like on the outs, and like no one had prepared for that scenario. They're like picking off like the people at the bottom. The one person gets HOH, and then all of these people have never spoken to this person and be like, oh, time to go have strategy conversations with someone I've never spoken to. That's what this gave to me.
All right. So Rock ends up getting split from Letty, and then he ends up having the lowest. So Rock, Seychelles, and Lachelle are all three in danger. They can go and face the banker, although everybody except for the top two and Parvati and Philip are eligible to be eliminated. So this is the first time we really see the whole field pretty much is in jeopardy at Banker's Temple.
I love Lachelle being like, I ain't going up against the banker. I'm sorry, not me. You pick somebody else.
Yesterday.
Yeah, she said, hell no, I don't want to go up against the banker. I was like, that's right. Stand up for yourself, because people like Rock will get put up to the banker because they want to go up against the banker. Why? Why do you want to go up against the banker? You should not want to go unless you have a clear target. And maybe he did, right? Maybe everybody is like, okay, you go in, you win, you go, you take out Dr. Will. This moves your game forward. But if it's just kind of like, I'd like to try my luck. This to me, that's not the place to do it. You wait until you don't have no choice, or you're trying to keep a target off your own back. That's when you go up against the banker. You don't just do it because I ain't doing nothing else right now.
All right, we got a lot of scrambling going on back at the resort as we wait to go to the Banker's Temple. CK really wants Rock to go in and take out Will. That's what CK is trying to work on. Parvati and CK talk. Chappell, what is Parvati trying to do here when she talks about how she needs to to blame CK for what happened?
Yeah, she's kind of in this mode of, CK, you came, you were so forceful about this thing. You really didn't leave me no choice to go up to pick up Rock. And CK's like, yeah, I mean, someone had to make the decision. And Parvati's like, yeah, you made the decision. It's all on you. I think she's really trying to minimize herself as a player in CK's eyes, because the people who've seen her play Survivor, there's nothing Parvati can say. right? Philip will always see Parvati as Parvati, and there's nothing she can do. She can't downplay her threat level. But CK thought she was just this lovable yoga teacher with a 6-year-old. And like, this lady can't do all of that. So I think she's really trying to be like, yeah, I played Survivor, but it's only Survivor. Like, you're really in charge. And that means when you get a chance to make moves, you won't think about little old me, because look how easily influenceable I am by you. Look, you just came and you got whatever you wanted out of me. Please look in another direction for the love of God. So I think that's what she's doing. And hopefully it works, because I do think it might be the right move.
Jenny, Philip in this episode, once again, he is working with Parvati. He tells us about how he's working with Parvati, but he's seeing a lot of lies and manipulation, more than he's necessarily comfortable with, but he's watching Parvati work. Am I crazy? I'm feeling winner vibes from Philip.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I know. No. And wasn't it, was Aaron, our friend Aaron that we spoke to last week, didn't he say that he was getting winner vibes from Philip?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No, I will say, like, he's giving me everything I want to see. You know,
Like, I'm seeing what's really going on.
Yeah. It's like, he's like, I made a deal with the devil for now, you know, like he's definitely, there's the comma, but he's aware of the situation that he's, you know, put himself in, and the perils of it, but he doesn't seem like he's gotten in too deep. He's kind of just like, I am aware of what I am involved in. It's a little bit more than I bargained for, but I'm aware. And that's very, very helpful, because he's sitting next to Parvati as Parvati's like, Rock, you're literally my favorite person. And this guy's like, I thought I was your freaking husband out here. Right. And then also
and
some other guy is dad to your mom.
Right.
And then you have a son. Like, Philip's doing the math. He's like counting on his fingers, being like, how is Rock your favorite? Like, I see what you're doing, girl.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Philip is a physical specimen, and we saw how the season ended last season. We saw it. Letting a physical threat like Philip get to the end, you deserve to lose. Like, I will go ahead and say that. If you let Philip get to the end against you, you think you're going to beat this man in a foot race? You think you're going to beat this man in like that rope thing that people were doing? Like, that man right there.
Others.
Yeah, they are. But still, if I'm in any position, right? Like Rock was in this position, and they're trying to aim Rock at Dr. Will, which makes sense. Philip's not even on the board. But if you are somebody who kind of falls in that middle ground, you're taking out these vendettas you have against people, that's all fine and dandy. But I bet had Aaron and Amy got on the same page, they would have realized, look, I know you want to go to the boss Rob, but what are we doing? Right? Or you look over at Jordan and be like, what are we doing? You look over at Stephanie, like, what are we doing? We cannot go up against these physical threats. Nick made it way too far into the game for it to be physical. Now, we didn't know the finale was going to be as physical as it was, but now that we do, oh no. If I'm coming in, I'm thinking, how do we get the muscles out of here? I'm looking at David, I'm looking at Philip, I'm looking at Parvati. There's certain people who just Letty, but there's a lot of physical threats. So who knows?
But Joe told us to throw out what we learned from last season.
Yeah, but don't listen to him. You know,
I can't help it. I have to listen to Joe.
You listen to Joe, and then you're at the end, and they're like, all right, it's a height competition, Aaron, jump. He's like, well, now what? Thank you, Joe. You know, I've been sitting here worried about the banker when in reality, I got to get to the banker. So I think that Philip's in a great spot because there are so many other physical threats. I think you can squint and make a reason for a lot of them to be physical threats. But if I'm Dixon, shit, I'm not trying to go to them.
You gotta slow the roll. Stop going for the banker's bonuses maybe for a couple weeks here.
Right. Okay. Don't put a big old, well, I guess immunity is nice too. So immunity
is nice, but eventually I think people are going to say like, oh, he's making a big target out of himself going for the banker's bonus every time.
Okay. Yeah, it can be tough.
Will is concerned. He does not want to be the person who gets eliminated. He goes to Rock and he says, hey, listen, you say any name except me, and I will look out for you.
Yeah. I don't
not
think
bad.
Works.
Not because I really was like, eliminate this person, eliminate this person. Like, this is, I think, a good, like, hey, anybody but me.
Yeah. Is this where you lock in like a final two though, Rob? Do you have to hard sell it at this point if you're Dr. Will, where everybody in the house wants you out? Do you come into this conversation with Rock and be like, look, save me, and it's the two of us to the end. We'll call ourselves, I don't know, Chill Town, and then we'll take it to the end together. Who are your number one? Like, here are the people who are talking trash about you. How can we dismantle this? Like, what should you be so coy about this? I guess is what I'm asking, because Will does kind of just hit him with the like, you saved me and I got you, but I feel like your back is really against the wall here.
But
yeah. That's a good point, because then if Rock goes home, you never have to worry about this. So, and, you know, if Rock stays and he eliminates somebody else, like, you know.
Now the alliance is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like we maybe got robbed of, you know, the pairing that we really needed in 2025
Of
like
Rock and
Rock
Dr.
Town
Will?
or something, or like
Ring,
Chill
ring,
Rock.
ring. Hello, it's Rock. Yeah, Dr. Will, is that you? You know, like,
I want to rock. Like I have a little bit of like the misconnections feeling, but I also know that Will is probably having that conversation with literally anyone, no matter what. But I just like, I think, and this might just be my delusion, is that like I think that Rock might have been the one person that this could have worked for.
He doesn't have a friend. Yeah,
he needs a friend, but on paper, like taking the audience out of it, like it being Rock that he's posing this to, is that much of a good pitch when you are clearly like not in favor, like the rest of the group doesn't care if you live or die, and you're like, hey, I'm with you. I guess you could think like this guy has the highest chance of maybe being in a situation where he plays the banker, and that's why not increase my odds of not being taken out by this guy if he's up next.
I think that what you say to Rock is like, Rock, this is so messed up. They put you in there. These people don't care about you.
Yeah, they're just counting you.
Nobody's going to bat for you. Like you get through this tonight. Me and you, we're gonna do this, Rock.
Yeah.
And I would be pumping my freaking fist watching this.
Let's freaking go.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the one true pair that we were robbed of.
Right.
Yes. But Will is concerned. Will is concerned about two things.
My biggest fear is clowns eating baby corn. But my second biggest fear is getting eliminated really, really early in this game.
Okay.
Is that not your fear too, Rob?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I
think we got hacked. Somebody just brought up a picture of clowns eating baby corn. I didn't even know that was possible.
The one in the middle is making me so uncomfortable. Look at he's enjoying
it so much.
He is enjoying.
Where do they get all that baby corn from?
I don't know.
It's not even that
Will's
baby. It's more like teen corn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen like
I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
I'm picturing like, I don't know. Where did this come from? What's happening? The guy in the front has like a couple. He hasn't even eaten the first one, and he's got one on deck.
It's horrifying.
This is actually
Will's justified.
The glee on his face, though, you know,
terrible.
Like, yeah,
it's terrible. But I'm more scared of Will getting eliminated than even that.
I don't know now.
I would reverse the order.
Yeah, now that I've seen it, I don't know. You know, like, I don't know. Yeah.
He's not even as afraid of being eliminated early on Dondi as he is of this. And it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, this is just a line. But no, I have the context now.
Yeah.
I am ruined.
All right. So we're going to the Banker's Temple. And we've got CK is telling us that she does not like Dr. Will.
This is bold.
This is bold. She does not like that he's a millionaire.
She don't like that he's a millionaire, that he was flaunting his accomplishments, XYZ. I feel like this is where CK, this is where you're going wrong. Like if you're looking for like the reason why CK potentially loses this season, it's stuff like this, because Dr. Will is the house pariah. he's not necessarily coming for you. But you stand up and declare war against him in front of everybody. He says it himself. You leave me no choice but to target you. So if he has any Dr. Will magic left in it, he's about to target it directly at you. And he might not, there's a good chance that you don't get him out soon. So you don't want all his efforts going directly at you when they could be going at someone else. If he ends up going against the banker, CK should be very worried.
Yeah.
Don't poke a petty king. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is the time where you don't want to be the leader of the opposition, because like, be like vice treasurer, like hide behind somebody else louder. You don't want to be the loudest voice against someone that has this chaotic energy, whether you like it or not. You're not saying anything that no one else is thinking. You know how everyone feels about this. You don't have to. Do not be the voice of all of these people and their feelings. That is putting a spotlight on you that you do not need. If you're Will and you're up there and you're facing the banker next week, is our petty king going after CK before he even touches Parvati? Because is Parvati being in the game good for Will still, because he needs there to be other heat now that he's illuminated to everyone that she's on Survivor? Like, I really do think that CK kind of just like threw herself to the top of his list, right?
Yeah, but you're telling
she
me
doesn't care.
Yeah, she doesn't care. Which, I mean, if you don't care, then he shouldn't care either. And he should be after you. I really, like I said, I was loving CK just being able to take control of her game and not get steamrolled by these vets. But now you're leaving yourself vulnerable. And it's like, all right, there's a way that you can do this and be more covert. Whereas Dr. Will is up there and he doesn't know who to shoot at. Now, it's like, yeah, I can go up against the banker, shoot at CK, and nobody would be mad at me because she started it.
But the CK...
And you should be...
foster some goodwill in terms of like, okay, well, like I'm riding for CK because she's going after Dr. Will.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think that she just makes herself a perfect person to hide behind and
not if she's
play
getting
the
the top case every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you play nice with someone like CK, but you're like, as soon as there's a situation where you let her be vulnerable,
she beat that banker
like,
once, Jenny.
I know. I mean, but here's the thing: if you're CK and you're saying this guy's a millionaire, like he's flaunting all of his money, maybe we should be afraid of putting the guy that successfully made himself some money in a position where he could be making some money, and what happens if he does that. I'm just saying we should maybe think about this.
Yeah,
you might have that luck.
And if I'm Parvati hearing that CK is targeting millionaires, wonder what's that prize money on Survivor looking like?
Yeah.
She played
that bank
Survivor
account,
once.
girl.
Yeah, she won once and played 3 other times. Like I'd probably imagine that maybe she's creeping up around there somewhere. David as well. Like, I mean, not a million, probably scratch, but I would be like, oh, so we don't like money? Okay, bye, Brokey.
He's just a dumb supermodel.
So,
he doesn't
just
know
as an aside, so Dr. Will tells a story about how his daughter, that he asked her, where do you want to go on a vacation? And she wanted to go to see the world's largest Starbucks in Chicago. Right?
I didn't know.
This was in the episode, right? I'm
yeah,
not,
I think it was when
because we've also shared some clips on social media that we've gotten some Dondi exclusive clips, and I wasn't sure if I was like conflating a clip with the episode.
That was at the beginning when they did that really fun scene where it's like they get back after Banger's Temple and like Will is just talking everyone's ear off. I didn't know the biggest Starbucks was in Chicago. Why isn't it in Seattle?
It's 5 stories high. It has a pizza bar on the 2nd floor, and it uses sustainable energy. Okay,
let's go.
I've been to Chicago.
Let's go.
Chicago is like my favorite city in the United States.
Let's do a live podcast from the world's largest Starbucks. They've got room for us.
We were just in Chicago last year.
Let's go back. They missed me out
live
there.
show. Who's
Say
coming
less.
with us?
I'm coming.
Because the
Will,
food,
bring your daughter.
Dondi live show. We'll get sponsors. We'll play Dondi live on the stage.
I'll call my friends Ben and Kamari.
Ben and Kamari will come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just no clowns
no?
and baby corn, and we're good.
Those are the 2 rules. No clowns, no baby corn.
Those
Get
are the
Kim Bettina on the
demands.
phone. We're doing this. We're doing it.
live. Now at Starbucks, can they serve iced tea?
Oh
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
We
they
need
have
big
tea.
vats.
They have tea
They
at
do,
Starbucks.
they do.
Yeah.
I know it's
Like
only for
different
closers.
kinds.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah, no.
close.
Think about it.
Get the tea.
Think
All I
about it.
know is next time we go to Chicago, we're definitely going here, Jenny. Like
Finale party
I didn't know.
live from the world's
Yeah.
largest Starbucks.
There
I
was just
assumed it would
other.
have been Seattle.
That's how we can get. We'll make sure Will comes. He'll bring his
Right.
family. Yeah.
That's how we
That
get them. Because we didn't know, and now we've learned what it takes.
They sell a lot of stuff in Chicago, and I just was very interested in buying other things, so I didn't make it over to the Starbucks. That's all.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Rock versus the banker chooses case number 8. His anniversary is on the 8th, and he starts off
Princess Bride.
right off the bat. Choose
Yeah.
4. Okay. So Rock has some interesting ways of picking. He starts with number 9 because he has 6 grandkids and 3 daughter-in-laws. 6 plus 3 is 9. Those feel like 2 very random things to combine. I have 6 grandkids and 3 daughter-in-laws.
Yeah.
Well-
because yeah.
He did this before he picks 3 for his sons,
Yes.
which actually made me respect him more
Yeah.
because he like prioritized the daughters-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Is it daughter-in-laws or daughters-in-law?
Daughters-in-law.
Here we go again.
I think it's like
Okay.
shots in the dark.
Yeah, I know. Not again. Not again. I can't do this right now. But yeah, he's like, not my idiot sons.
Mhm.
Their wives, on the other hand, I ride with them.
Right.
Rock is for the girlies,
He's
and
for
I
the girls.
just feel
For the
like we
girlies.
missed out.
He's
Now-
for the
Um,
girlies.
Yeah, he has to do a little math for us. 6 plus
Okay.
3 is
So
9.
Rock knocks off 4 cases: 6 million, 3.77 million, 1.75 million, 4 million, and everybody's like, Rock, Rock is the best case
He's
picker.
killing it.
He's
The best
killing
pick-
it, and
the
they're
best
like,
case picker.
idiot. It's like the banker is calling, and she's making fun of him. But I'm like, he's doing great.
Yeah. They say,
He's
well, the banker's going to
killing
give him a 6-figure offer. And I think Parvati goes, what? Like somebody was like,
Mhm.
this man just knocked all the money off the board. Why does he get 6 figures? And so, yeah, you're right. He
We
was
liked him.
doing excellent. And it was when he went with his family. You know, his family's numbers were the ones that were giving him the best results as far as like case size. Now,
Mhm.
of course, he still wanted them on the board because in his mind that'll raise the offer. But you know, for the odds, after the first go round, I wouldn't have faulted him for being like, okay, deal. You know,
Take
it
the
was
deal.
so lopsided. Yeah.
There were 6 good cases that would have saved him, and 2 bad. Now, in fairness, now that we know
Now
what
we know.
else, he would have lost. He would have
would've
lost,
lost.
but the odds were in
But-
his favor.
Yeah,
But-
statistically, he had an incredible first offer.
Great first offer. He goes back to work, opens 4 more cases. Now he opens like a bunch of low cases,
Everyone's
Yes.
cheering. Everyone's
Okay.
like, no.
and he's like, "What's the odds now, baby?" It's like worse, Rock. You're
Well, that's
doing,
the
now
thing.
you're
Not as
doing
good.
worse.
This is only good, Rock, if you plan on going down to your case. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like if you plan on
Yeah.
taking it down to the wire,
The
then yeah,
Luke
this
route.
is perfect. Right, exactly. But like to be like, what are the
Yeah.
odds now, baby? And then to tap out, it's kind of like,
Mhm.
Worse,
Okay.
worse.
But so now the offer goes up to 250K, and he still has 75% chance. And this time he ends up taking the offer. But he does say, all of my relatives' numbers, they were all the big money cases.
It's true.
Does he get
Yeah.
pressured to take the deal?
I think so. I think people like you and the yes and all his contestants
Me?
were like, yeah, the odds are in your favor.
No,
the
Yeah.
odds are in
he
your
was getting
favor.
pressured by the peanut gallery. They were afraid he was going to open the $1 million case, and they were going to get another Luke situation of like
Everyone's-
adding $30 to the pot.
I mean, that
Yeah.
also is some pressure, but I think that I think knowing that the odds are in your favor, you are incentivized to be like, yeah, okay, I'll take it. But like, I've been saying this from day one. That's not the spirit of Deal or No Deal. You have chosen your case. That you're supposed to touch that case and be like, yeah, this is the one. This feels good. This is the big money here. I'm going down to the wire, and he doesn't.
But
He
that
taps
can
out.
change.
It could
Yeah.
change.
And that's okay. Like, that's the thing. And that's why this game is so fickle, because it's like you can start off being like, this is the vibes. These are the cases I'm feeling. And then, if you're Rock and you're opening all of these cases that mean something to you, and you're like, uh-oh, okay, well, maybe I feel a little bit differently. And again, he's saying like all of my family ones were the big cases. The one he ended up with was like one of the lowest of the big cases.
It was a low big
It was the biggest
It
one.
was fine.
Yeah,
It was a low
and
I'm not
I think that
sneezing
he
at
probably-
1.34 million.
right.
but he also like some of the numbers were like mathematical combinations of family. I'm sure that he could have found
Yeah.
reasons to
Yeah.
to
You're
care
actually
about
you're
some of these
making
other
Rock try to
numbers.
feel better about what happened because he could have
I
like got
think-
himself into any of the numbers.
Exactly. And I think that that's why this game, we love it so much. We love the unexpected strategy. We love that it has brought so many of our faves out of the woodwork. It's incredible, an unexpected gem, but also it's a little silly, okay? And that's okay. Because you
I
could just lose because of
No.
the freaking
It-
case you
It
picked.
is, but I do feel like when you go and pick your first case, you're going for the big money case. I'm looking for the
Mhm.
biggest case. That's what they said.
Of
Pick your
course.
case. That's the goal. So when you pick it, that's you stamping that case and saying, "This is my baby. This is my case." So
But
now
he
you're not
didn't
looking
have
at
a big money case. It was like a
Well, he-
low
Yeah.
high case.
it was still big money, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the biggest money. You know,
But you know,
what
I think that's harder to do when it's like you still have 75% odds at that point where
Exactly.
that you don't want to be
Yeah.
like Luke where you had like what do you have and he had like 66% odds and he said and he
Yeah.
turned it down. So if you have like 50-50 odds, I think it's like, oh, well, it's going to be 50-50 no matter what. So I'll keep
Right.
going.
yeah.
Do we
but
blame
that's the
Luke
thing.
for this?
Yeah,
Do you
Luke's
think-
fault. Yeah, it's Luke's
Because
fault. It's
he
Luke's
was
fault. Yeah.
summoned many times
Yes.
throughout this sequence at the
Joseph, we
Banker's
thought
Temple.
that Luke was the worst player.
The banker
Luke
said,
catching
"Hey, you're right."
strays 2 episodes later.
I love that man. I'm
Um,
sorry. All-time player.
So like I just feel like if Luke wasn't mentioned, do you think that like that Rock maybe listens to his heart here and says, I'm gonna go all the way?
I think it's less about Luke specifically and more about the fact that they watch somebody go against the odds when they could have taken the odds,
Yeah.
right? And I think
Mhm.
for this man, he's saying like, this is my case, this is big money, but I now have to fight the urge that I have to keep my big money case versus the odds that are clearly lopsided in my favor. I should go with the odds. Whereas like a real gambler is gonna put their stuff up on the table and be like, nah, I'm gonna ride this baby till the wheels fall off.
But-
Luke should not have.
Chappelle, what about Lachelle coming in and saying like, you know what, last night I regretted we didn't open one more suitcase.
My girl. She said,
I
she
regretted
said,
that.
look,
I have to say, I gotta say,
Right.
I regretted I didn't
was
open
his
one
penny.
more.
'cause-
It was the
'cause
penny she was gonna pick.
Had he opened one more case, the odds would have still been in his favor. And they would have been
Mhm.
even better. He'd have been like, I don't know. The offer would have went up. Lachelle had the right vibe. She's like, hey, you're gonna
Yeah,
regret
she's
this.
Yeah,
But everyone's like, Parvati turns to Storm and is like, what is she doing?
like, ain't no skin off my nose. He wasn't gonna
Right.
eliminate Lachelle. Yeah,
Let him go. Yeah,
Okay.
she like,
but
go for it.
Well,
instead,
who knows what he's gonna
instead, this is what Rock says.
Can't stand around and talk some. Let's open this baby up.
I love this man. I miss him already.
Open this baby up. Yeah.
I hope he got his Coors Light. I hope Ben and Kamari got him a Coors Light when he had to leave. That's all I.
I asked Ben and Kamari. They said there was no Coors Light available for
Well,
the
okay, but
Mhm.
maybe while
They
you're
lied.
actively in the game, I'm saying like they probably had a stash that is like not for like active contestants.
Joe drinks the Coors Light, so you know it's Joe. Ben and Kamara could never touch the Coors Light, but Joe, he's out here, so he's
They
throwing
don't
them
have
back.
to drink it with him, but
Mhm.
like let Rock. Like Rock had a rough night. I hope he got a couple.
We hope
Crush
so.
a couple
All he
Coors.
wanted was a Cybertruck
Yeah.
with,
That was the most
It's a
questionable
Cybertruck
thing.
with what, a camper behind it?
with a cab or something like that.
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah,
I was just
like,
like,
yeah.
I love him.
So Rock, he gets eliminated. He's like, I knew it. I knew I had it. But he does have high hopes for his next project. He's hoping that he can go off and do Naked and Afraid.
Hey,
What a king.
do your thing, Rock. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Is that a high-paying show, or is this
I
just
don't
our
think there's a
man?
prize.
like-
I think it's basic. You get a handshake at the end of
Yeah,
it.
No,
like
that's the
stipend?
Great British Bake Off.
I think
Okay.
it's the same.
Maybe
I don't think there's a prize.
So yeah, it's not a prize. I think the like all-star season sometimes have a prize, but
Sure.
this is just for bragging rights.
Yeah, text Mari and find out. But
Yeah,
Naked
I
and
need
Afraid, I don't think there's a prize.
Yeah,
like
And I'm not
maybe
shaking their
he's-
hands.
Maybe it's like, okay, but is this actually genius? Because
Huh?
you get, okay, hear me out. Let me cook. Okay.
Yeah, Jenny,
Mhm.
go
So-
ahead.
So we know that like you don't get nothing for appearing on a show. Maybe
you get
you're not
5,000
touting.
5,000 for appearing on Naked and Afraid.
Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
maybe our man is just saying, let me set my sights on something achievable. Maybe he's like, okay, I don't know if I'm getting on Survivor after going out third on Dondi.
Yeah.
To which I say, I would like to see
You know-
it, but he maybe he's just like, he's being realistic and saying I could make 5K off of Naked and Afraid.
But
Oh,
you know,
no,
if
it's not worth
anybody is going to do Naked and Afraid, I feel like that Luke might be somebody. If he's looking for someplace where he might be able to, like, literally, I think I just got my balls trapped in a squirrel trap.
Yeah. I
Oh my god, is there like a team version?
Mhm.
Because
Yes.
this is like
There
the
is.
amazing
Yeah.
team.
There's like
of
5 of
the
them. Like
Yeah,
Naked and Afraid
Afraid
XXL and
Yeah.
like Last One Standing.
Jenny, I find it hard to believe you've never seen Naked and Afraid. I like.
I have seen parts of it, but I
Which
could
parts?
not
Oh,
tell
you'll see
you
a
if
lot
I
of parts.
understand.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah, I
parts.
said,
I've
which
seen
parts
the
did you see
parts.
specifically?
Mhm.
Yeah. No, this is crazy.
But-
Don't go on Naked and Afraid. People get really sick on there. That $5,000 is not going to like cover the amount of illnesses that people have when they come off of Naked and Afraid.
Maybe
But
Rock just likes to let it hang out, and he
But you can do
said,
that
you know
without-
what?
Mhm.
cameras and like without being outside for 21 days.
Have
Like,
you heard
just
of
go be-
OnlyFans?
Right. Yeah. Like Rock. Matter of fact, we'll talk at the interview. I'll try to talk him
Okay.
down.
Talk him down. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and
You're
then there
a
we
fan
go.
base.
That's it. That's Dondi. Episode
Dondi!
3 is in the books. And
Oh my gosh, I'm stressed out though. Like I will say I feel a general feeling of anxiety. Now that Will is here and he's in the game and we're getting all of the commentary, like Chappelle said it. He's like, I thought we were ready for like, it was gonna be one and done, one full
No.
episode of
I think
Will,
he's
and that's
heating
it.
up.
I hope so, but I have anxiety, Rob. So I'm a little worried
Mhm.
when literally I want to believe. I don't want to be wrong. Right. I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
I want to be wrong in this case
Mhm.
because I just don't want us to come all of this way, get excited, see him start the playbook like we said, lower that threat level, make
If
everyone discount you, and then get
Dr.
them
Will
back to
staying means you're wrong. You don't want to be right.
That part.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Do we
Okay.
think that this was like if he escaped this first like vulnerability, that's it, and now we're cooking? Like, is that the
I
feeling?
think we're cooking. I don't think that Will or Parvati or David are going anywhere for a little while.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
got a little runway here.
I think it's gonna get crazy. I do.
Yeah,
And
don't go
and
anywhere.
that is so fun to think about because we were week to week, we were on edge, just like, is Boston Rob going to be able to do it
Yeah.
again? Is Boston Rob going to do it again? And we have 3 like options where we're coming in to be like, all right, can they all do it again? There's no way they can all do it again, but what if they do? Right?
What if they do?
What if each of them just kind of like does their own separate strategies and just whittles this competition down to where we're looking at a finale where most of them, if not all of them, are still around? I would love to see it. So yeah, 3 episodes into Dondi season 2, and it feels like it's a slow burn. Like it's getting better and better and better, but we're about to have a collision course with all of these contestants soon, and I can't wait to see it.
Okay, so
want
check
what you're
out
having.
exit interview with Rock coming up on Wednesday. You can hear that weknowdondi.com to subscribe. Tell your friends about everything we got going on over here at the number 1 destination for all your Dondi information. Okay, Chappelle, what else is going on for you?
I am on recapkickback.com talking to Mari about all the good stuff out there to talk about. Gia and I have our Abbott Elementary coverage still every other week on recapkickback.com. Me and Mari are doing the things. We got movies and stuff. And we got the anniversary of Recap Kickback coming up in February. And so please subscribe to the podcast, youtube.com/@recapkickback, so that we can hit our anniversary on a good, even 2,000 subscribers. That would be so much fun. And so make sure you go do that. Help me out. Put in the comments, I came here from Dondi. Would love to see that. And make sure you tune in for more from me because, I'm out here, Rob. I think I'm doing a reality flash soon, too. I think I'm Mike Bloom's first guest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So catch Chappell talking about some Joe Schmo show with Mike Bloom over on the Reality Flash. Chappell and I also talked about brand new movie on Netflix, Back in Action. Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz made her return. And we talked about that brand new movie, #1 on Netflix, on the Nothing But Netflix podcast. Jenny, what else is coming up for you?
Just looking forward to seeing what happens next on Dondi. It feels so good to have everyone on board. Will's here now. Everyone can chill. He's here and hopefully here to stay. I'm having a really good time doing this. You can follow me on social media at Jenny Autumn. Having a good time watching the Avengers of reality television between this and the Traitors right now.
Oh my God. We're having fun on Dondi, but have you seen what Boston Rob is doing on the Traitors?
Yeah, he's still up to
my God.
hijinks.
My queen is still there.
Yeah,
check out the
no spoilers,
podcast.
No spoilers. Yeah, but boy,
we won't say anymore.
Boston Rob.
It's wild. It's wild.
His experience with the banker changed him.
Yeah, he's a different monster now. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, Rob, also, I was on the Big Brother flashback episode that we had last week. I talked to Taryn about Big Brother season 3
with your
my queen. And
yes.
so go check that out if you haven't already listened to it.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We love to get your comments. We get so much feedback on the Dondi recap, so we love to hear from you. Let us know what you thought about everything, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.